Chapter 32. "It's so good that you met Frankie when you did," May was saying as she helped herself to another glass of wine. "Her eggs are only a few years from drying up." "Ma!" Frankie looked more annoyed than aghast. "Would you shut up about my eggs? We literally just started dating. Aiden could be an axe-murdering clown." "He's not an axe-murdering clown." "How do you know?" "He brought flowers and wine. Clowns don't have manners like that." It appeared that no one could argue with May Baranskis' logic, Aiden decided. "I appreciate your faith in my character, Mrs. Baranski." "Call me Ma." "Ma!" Francesca covered her face in her hands, and Aiden hid his laugh behind his beer. "Why don't you just write him into your will already?" "As soon as there's a ring on your finger, I will," May challenged with a stubbornness that had clearly been passed down to her daughter. "So, Aiden, what do you do?" Hugo's attention span had expanded since The Price is Right had ended. Frankie gripped his thigh under the table. She was sending him a silent message, but unfortunately for her, it was intercepted by his cock. He cleared his throat and took a sip of beer. "I'm in business, too." When she snorted next to him, Aiden brought his hand to the base of Frankie's neck and squeezed. To him, a business was a business, no matter how many employees or office buildings it laid claim to. Frankie's father wanted to be his own boss and provide a service for the community. Aiden could appreciate and respect that. "Dad, Aiden is COO of Kilbourne Enterprises," Frankie explained. She didn't sound like she was bragging. She sounded like she was apologizing. Marco whistled. "Damn, you own entire city blocks downtown." May's eyes widened, and she reached for her wine glass. "Francesca, may I see you in the kitchen?" Aiden and Frankie shared a glance. "All the food's already on the table, Ma," Frankie pointed out. "Now!" May's tone left no room for arguing. Aiden felt the dull throb of the headache that Frankie had promised him begin in the base of his skull. Here it comes, he thought. There wasn't a mother in the world whose eyes wouldn't light up at the thought of her daughter landing a Kilbourne. Frankie squeezed his thigh and followed her mother into the kitchen. "What in the hell have you gotten yourself into?" May Baranski yelled from the confines of the kitchen. Ma likes to think the kitchen is soundproof," Gio said. "You're probably going to want another beer," Marco predicted. "You might as well get us around," Hugo sighed. "Sorry, Aiden." "Should I go in there?" Rachel wondered. Marco's arm landed on her shoulders. "It would be a danger to the baby, believe me." "Gotten myself into? What the hell, Ma?" Frankie yelled back. "He's a millionaire," May said. "You can't handle a husband like that." "I hate to break it to you, Ma, but you probably have to change that M to a B, and I'm not looking for a husband. He's a nice guy. We're having a good time." No one in his entire life had described him as a nice guy. "You're 34 years old, Francesca. Just how long are you going to wait to settle down?" "Until I find the right guy, Ma. Not all of us get lucky and find our soulmate in junior high." Apparently, Frankie thought the kitchen was soundproof, too. "He's from another world. You can't expect to be an equal partner in that relationship," May shouted. "Ma, do you think there's any man on the planet I'd let treat me like less than?" Frankie demanded. "I don't like this, Francesca. Not one bit. It's one thing to be friends with Prue, but dating a man who owns half of Manhattan? Now you're exaggerating." "Exaggerating? Me? I never exaggerate." "She always exaggerates," Rachel said, smiling sympathetically at him. "Hey, Aid," Gio said suddenly. "How you feel about the Knicks?" "The Knicks? I think they have a shot at the semis, if not the finals this year." Aiden was grateful for the rope. Me and Marco have an extra ticket for the game Tuesday. You want to go? Aiden tried to remember the last time someone invited him somewhere that wasn't related to business. He couldn't come up with anything. The shouting from the kitchen reached a crescendo. He's a nice guy that I'm not marrying, Ma. Chill the hell out. Don't you swear at me, Francesca Marie. You're the one acting like a crazy person in front of a really nice guy that I like a lot. I'm not acting crazy. I'm making sure my daughter isn't getting in over her head with a crowd that runs too fast. What if he wants you to go to Monaco or St. Bart's? What if he gets you hooked on drugs? All the celebrities need rehab, you know. Jesus, I'm not 13, Ma, and Aiden isn't hooking me on drugs. I don't want you losing your focus on your degree for a handsome face with deep pockets. Mother, all you've talked about since I was 22 was me getting married. I met to a nice guy from Brooklyn who could offer you a family and a nice home within a 3-block radius of our house. Not some cajillionaire who would treat you like some trophy. Oh, I'm not a trophy? Frankie demanded at full volume. I thought you said you weren't marrying him, May demanded. You know how I operate. You say no, and that's what I want to do. Tuesday would be great, Aiden said. Awesome, Marco nodded. Meet at the garden? Gio suggested. Works for me, Marco nodded. Me too. Who's gonna sneak in there and get another round of beers? Hugo wondered. Oh my God, I'll do it, Rachel said, pushing back from the table. Be careful in there, babe, Marco warned her, no longer as concerned with the welfare of their unborn baby since beer was on the line. Rachel headed down the hallway, supporting her belly. Everyone can hear every word you both are saying, she announced. No, they can't, both Baranski women announced. Yes, we can, the Baranski men insisted from the dining room. See what you did, Ma? Me? You're the one who brings a trillionaire to lunch. We can still hear you, Gio yelled. No, you can't, May insisted. But the yelling ceased, and after a few stage whispers from down the hall, Frankie, Rachel, and May reappeared. Frankie and May had topped off their wine glasses. Rachel was juggling 4 beers that she doled out at the table. Aiden guzzled the last of his beer and reached for the fresh one. This roast is delicious, he announced. Marco snorted and choked. We're so happy to have you here to enjoy it, May said, smiling sweetly. Frankie flipped her brother the bird. Marco flipped it back, but not before his mother caught him. May got out of her chair and walked casually behind her son, and just when his shoulders seemed to relax, she cuffed him on the back of the head. Manners! Frankie started it, Marco argued. Frankie flipped him another bird. See, Ma? Look! Frankie picked up her fork and ate innocently. Marco, you're hallucinating. May slapped Gio on the back of the head on her way back to her chair. Oh, what was that for? He whined. I saw your finger twitch, she pointed out. It was a preemptive strike. May sat down primly. Frankie and her brothers watched carefully, and the second the woman's attention was on her plate, 3 middle fingers shot up around the table. Oh, for Pete's sake, when did you all turn into assholes? Hugo sighed over his plate. What? What did they do? May demanded. Nothing, the 3 Baranski siblings announced. You sure you want to deal with this? Rachel asked Aiden from across the table. There's still time to get out. Aiden turned his laugh into a discreet cough. Don't try to scare off the trillionaire. He's Frankie's last shot at non-test tube babies, Marco joked. Aiden shot Marco the finger, and the table erupted in laughter. Except for May. She very calmly got out of her seat and smacked him upside the head. Ma! Francesca was horrified. I don't care if Aiden is a trillionaire. No one flips the bird at my dinner table. As soon as she glanced down at her plate, 6 middle fingers shot up.